Its roots may grow old in the ground and its stump die in the soil. Yet, at the scent of water, it will bud and put forth shoots like a plant.
My husband had passed, and my son and I were left in one of the driest and darkest seasons of our entire lives. The earth was hard and cracked, and I was hungry and thirsty again. I was at the city gates, gathering sticks, when I heard a man's voice ask me for a drink of water. As I looked up, I could see by this man's dress that he was an Israelite prophet. Now, I thought it was strange that he would ask me for a drink of water. Couldn't he tell by my dress that I was a widow? And widows aren't usually the first ones you ask for help. I agreed to get him his water, and as I was on my way, he called to me again and asked me to please bring him a piece of bread. Now, why was this man deliberately overlooking my circumstances? As surely as the Lord, your God, lives, I said to him, I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little oil in a jug. Don't be afraid, he said to me. First go and make me a small cake of bread from what you have and bring it back to me. For the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not be dried up until the Lord sends rain on the land. Something about his words made me believe him. And so I did what he told me to do, and he was right. There was enough food every day for me, my son, and the prophet Elijah. Sometime later, my son got sick and died. I remember being so angry. Is this why you came? I said to Elijah, to remind me of my sin. Give me your son, Elijah said. And he carried the boy off to his room and he prayed. At that moment, fear and guilt and condemnation flooded my soul until all hope had left me. And once again, when it seemed all was gone, was precisely when I received my miracle. For Elijah had given me back my son, alive. I can tell you that it wasn't easy for me to give all I had. First my flour and my oil, and later my son. For the times in the desert cannot be denied. There is dust and there is heat. There is sweat and there are tears. But it was in that season that I came to this understanding that the little in my hands will remain little if it stays in my hands. Placing your lack into God's hands supernaturally ushers in the miraculous. For nothing happens in our lives without God's sovereign purpose and permission. When we lose hope, it's not because God has forgotten about us. It's because of our inability to understand the divine orchestration of every event. So when you are on your very last, when the pantry is bare and your soul is cracked and dry, when death darkens your door and all of heaven is silent, you must remember this, that a bruised reed God will not break, and a smoldering wick He will not snuff out. For God's love is so great we are not consumed. His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Sometimes we don't have enough faith to believe for our daily bread. And sometimes that's exactly the amount of space God needs to bring forth life once again.